Okay, we're going to jump into number 1. Notice I have the steps for you here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Steps 1 and 2 we do to the left side and also the right side. So you kind of have to do this twice. Okay, so both sides of the equal sign. All right, let me give you a little time to write this down, but we're doing number 1 together. All right, so here we go. First thing I want to do is I always focus on the left side first. That's just how I do it. I want to distribute if I have any parentheses, which I do not. So I go to step 2. Do I have any like terms to combine? Combining like terms? I do not. So the left side is all cleaned up. Let's jump over to the right side. Do I have to distribute? Nope, we don't have any parentheses. Do I have any like terms to combine? Combining like terms? And the answer is yes. I have 1n, positive 1n, and positive 1n. If I combine these, they give me positive 2n. They're on the same team. So it's a positive 2, and this positive 2n is really positive 2 times n, and I bring down the negative 7. Like I mentioned before, this guy on the left side is all cleaned up. Okay, equal sign between them. Cool. Now, steps 1 and 2 are done. We jump to step 3. I have to check, do I have variables on different sides of the equal sign? And I do. I have an n on the right side and I have an n on the left side. We got to get them together. Okay? So what I recommend we do is we want to move them to the left. So anything on the right side that has a variable, let's move it to the left. Okay? How do I move it? You want to use addition or subtraction to move it. So I need to move this 2 times n. It is adding right now. To move it over here, we got to do the opposite of addition, which would be subtraction of 2 times n. And what you do to one side, do to the other. The 2 times n and the negative 2 times n cancel out. And now we have 4. These n's, these like terms are on different teams. One's a positive, one's a negative team, but the positive is going to win by 1. So it's going to be positive 1 times n. Okay? Or we could also say positive n. Equals negative 7. And then we go ahead and go to step 4. And step 4 says I need to isolate the variable. Well, my variable is n. It means I have to get rid of the 4. What's the 4 doing? It actually is adding because it's positive here in the front. So the opposite of addition is subtraction. And what you do to one side, do to the other. These 4's cancel out and n equals negative 11. All right. Okay. So let's jump over to number 2. All right, number 2. Let's split it just like we're used to. I'll give you a little bit of time to copy it down. All right. Steps 1, distribute on the left side, nothing to distribute. Combine like terms on the left side. We actually have the positive 7 and the negative 1 are like terms. So positive 7, negative 1, those are like terms. When I combine them, the positives are going to win by 6. So it's going to be positive 6. Equal. On the right side, we got to check. Do I distribute? No. Do I have any like terms? No. So it just stays 6 plus n. Steps 1 and 2 are done. Let's jump down to step 3. Move the variables together. If they're on opposite sides of the equal sign, we want to move them to the left. So any variable on the right, we want to make it come to the left. How to do that? use addition or subtraction to move the variable. Since the variable is adding, we are going to subtract it to the other side. What you do to one side, do to the other. Those cancel out. And then we have something kind of crazy happens here. The n, so 1n minus 1n, they actually cancel out too. They turn into 0 or go away. So we're left with 6 equal to 6. Okay? Because there's no variable, this is an answer that can possibly happen. When the variables cancel out and you're left with a statement like this where it's actually true. Does 6 equal 6? Yes, it's true. The 6 does equal 6. When it's true and there's no more variables, the answer to this is what we call many solutions. Okay? This happens when the variable cancels out. And I threw this problem in there because I wanted to make sure that you understand there's going to be problems in the future where the variables cancel out, which means you can have many solutions, which happens to be this answer, and the other answer you can have is no solutions. Okay? And we'll get to no solutions when it happens. But right now it's many solutions because the variables are gone. And this statement is true. 6 does equal 6. Many solutions. Okay? Let's jump to number 3. Okay, in number 3, we start on the left side, no distributed property. Hold on, guys. All right, so no distributed property. And now we have to combine like terms. 35R and 25R. We're going to combine those. They're on the same team. Okay, so that's going to give me 60R, or 60 times R. It's positive, and I bring down the 9. Okay, on the right side, we're going to combine like terms here because there's no distributed property. This is going to give me 69R. And it's positive, so we're actually adding them. So 69 times R. All right. And now we got to get our variables together. Step 3. So I want to move the variable on the right side, move it to the variable on the left. So right now the variable on the right side, 69 times R, since it's positive 69, that means it's adding. So we're going to subtract 69 times R to the other side. And what you do to one side, do to the other. Okay, we're taking the variable with us. We want the variable to come with us because that's what we want to get them together. Now let's do the math. 9. These guys are on different teams. The negatives are going to win, and they're going to win by 9. So it's going to be negative 9 times R equal, over here, this canceled out, which means it's 0. Okay? So don't confuse this for this type of problem. Over here, the variables canceled out. Over here, we still have a variable. It's just on the right side turned into 0, which is okay. 0 is a number. Okay? Now we have to solve for R, which means the 9 and the 9 have to go away. The 9 that I want to go away first is this 9. Okay, we always want to get rid of addition, subtraction, and we know this 9 is actually adding because it's positive. To get rid of addition, we're going to subtract 9 to both sides. What you do to one side, do to the other. And now we have negative 9 times R equals to negative 9. All right, now we have to get rid of this 9, which is multiplying. And the opposite of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide by negative 9. These cancel out, and we're left with r equal to positive 1. Negative 9 divided by negative 9 is positive 1. All right. Okay, let's shoot over to number 4. It'll be our last problem for the day. Give you a little time to copy it down. Alright guys, we're going to split this guy. Let's do the distributive property and combine like terms on the left. There's no distributive property, but we do have some like terms. I have positive 18m and negative 8m. Those are like terms. They're in different teams though. One's on the positive team, one's on the negative team. When I combine these, the positive team's going to win by 10. Okay, so in essence, I'm basically subtracting them, and I have more positives. I have 10 more positives. Okay, the other combining like terms I have to do is negative 20 and negative 8. They are on the same team, so I'm basically going to add them and keep them on the same team, which is negative. So it's going to be negative 28 here. So the left side is all cleaned up. Now let's shoot over to the right side. There's no parentheses to distribute and no like terms to combine. So the right side is all cleaned up. Okay, now we want to get the variables together. So I want to move the variables on the right. I want to move those guys to the left using addition or subtraction. So we have positive 9 times m. So since it's positive, we're adding 9 times m. We're going to do the opposite of addition, which is subtracting 9 times m. Notice I'm taking the m with me. And what I do to one side, I do to the other. So it's subtracting 9 times m. These cancel out. Let's do the math here. The positives are going to win by 1. So it's going to be m, 1m, or just m. Bring down the negative 28, subtracting 28 equals, and we have negative 33. Okay, now we just got to get m by itself, which means this 28 has to go away. The 28 subtracting, the opposite of subtraction is addition. I'm going to add 28 to both sides, and then we solve it here. So m is going to equal, and then the negatives and positives are different teams. The negatives are actually going to win, and they're going to win by 5. So we're subtracting there with the negatives winning. Okay. All right, guys, so these are the problems that you have assigned that are due today. Very similar. Add these to today's upload. Okay, these 4 problems. Once I release you today, go ahead and make sure you check in and start working on that review. Okay, so the check-in code for today is tree. All right, you are released. Please check in. Some of you are still not checking in.